Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Adobe Live. Happy Wednesday. It's halfway through the week. I hope you're feeling really good. My name is Idar Ekpa. I am going to be your host today, and I am joined by visual artist Serrandon. Serrandon, how are you feeling today?
I am good. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to get into some stuff.
No, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get through it. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
But yeah, we're joined by Serrandon today, where he plans to show us some of the designs, creative ad designs that he has that he'll do through Photoshop. So really, really excited to see what we have today. If you are in the chat, please go ahead and let me know where you are, visiting from, where you're viewing from. I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona. Serrandon, where are you at?
I am in LA.
LA, the big LA.
It is sunny, yeah. It is sunny. We had like a wind situation yesterday.
We did too here in Arizona. Yeah.
I like the wind, but then I forget how dusty the city is. So it gets, I gotta close my windows.
Yeah, no, the same thing happened here. But real quickly, if you all are over on YouTube land, please make your way over to Behance. That way you can join the conversation. It is b.net/Adobe Live. And just some few things for y'all. Make sure you join us this week for the creative encores of the Photoshop Creative Challenges every morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. This week, our challenges are all logo themed. So you want to make sure that you join. That way you can learn how to create and use logos in the app. And then if you missed Kyle T. Webster's brush hour this morning, don't worry. You can check out the replay on Behance, or you can go to YouTube. And also make sure that you check out the spring 2022 brush set. So want to give you guys that kind of notice real quickly before we get started. But I'm going to make my way over to the chat. I want to know where you guys are calling from. So I see Pearl or Carol, she's calling from South Florida. I'm seeing Stone from Iowa. Let's see, what else we got? Kyle from Dallas. Okay.
D-Town, that is where I'm from. Dallas, Garland, Texas.
Tim calling from Northern Michigan. That is really dope. Welcome, everybody. Really excited to have you today. So Serrandon, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Tell the people who you are. Go ahead and show us some of your work as well. I think it'd be really cool to kind of see, what you got going on for us today.
All right. Well, my name is Serrandon. Excuse me. My name is Serrandon. I am a visual artist, photographer, and filmmaker based out here in Los Angeles. Born and raised in Dallas. I specialize in photography and video. I direct projects, I shoot videos. I am very inspired by anime, nostalgic cartoons, like the Nickelodeons and the Disney channels of the world, but also Japanese film and Korean films. And I just really love world building. So that's something I try to tap into in my work and my videos. So this is kind of like highlights of just some of the favorite videos that I've created on my website. Really try to dive into fantasy and things like that. And I guess it's kind of become a thing for myself because I'm an independent creator and I self-produce a lot of my projects. I'm very hands-on with them. So I'm kind of putting together like a lot of effects and stuff on my own. And that's kind of what's really put me in the position that I'm in to be able to create like ads and things like that we'll be doing today. So these are some of my video work, my photo work, if it wants to load. This is a short film I actually did. My first short film called Here Comes the Bride. Sorry if y'all are like queasy and stuff. It's probably like, what? But it's really cool thriller horror film. Stream it. It's on my YouTube channel. Also, I cosplay as Speed Racer and all that stuff. So I took those. But yeah, I love playing with color. I love creating quirky things, fun shoes, and just having fun. I think art should be fun. I think what you should create should be fun. And sometimes that's all I want people to take away from it. It's just like, oh, this was fun and colorful and I had a great time. So
I love that. Sometimes, I don't know, I feel like for me, art is a sense of escape. from like the real world. So that fantasy and being able to create art just to create is really, really dope. So make sure y'all go ahead and head over to his website to check out more of his work. Head over to his YouTube so you can watch that short film as well. And then also go to Instagram, give your boy a follow, okay?
Yes, follow me on the gram. There's more content on here. I haven't been able to update some things on my site because I'm just like in the middle of stuff. So I've got some cool stuff on here on TikTok, on Instagram, where I give a little bit deeper dive into my creative process. Again, I'm very hands-on in what I do. So I've been trying to be a lot more sharing with that, especially with like the TikTok reels of the world and stuff like that. Follow me and, you know, again, stream the film.
Yes, stream the film, stream the film. All right, Serrandon. So what do you have planned for us today? Let's go ahead and hop right in.
All right. So today we're going to be creating a spec ad for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP. Yes, some people are like, I don't know what that is. And that's why I created a presentation. So let's do this. So the Game Boy Advance SP, I think we all should know like what the Game Boy is. It is a console that was created by Nintendo on February 14, 2003. This is actually a redesigned version of the Game Boy Advance, which was released 2 years prior to that. But the thing with the Game Boy Advance SP that was so cool was that it was the first console or Nintendo console to have a backlight, and it also had a rechargeable battery. I definitely had a Game Boy Advance, and my mom would like always scream at me for taking the batteries out of the remote or wherever I could when I was running out of battery. And then of course the classic, when you're in the car at night and you ask your parents if you can turn the light on in the car and they're like, you can't, I can't do that. I can't see it. But I'm like, I need to play Pokemon. So Nintendo responded to that and they created the Game Boy Advance SP. Some things about the Game Boy Advance SP that was so interesting. First, the SP stands for special, but I felt just through something that always fascinated me about the device, especially looking back at it now, is that it really represented a change in time. 2003 was when the tech revolution was starting to happen, the flip phones, Motorola Razors, sidekicks, things were just becoming a lot more trendy, especially with cellular devices. They weren't blocky and all of that stuff that we saw in like the 90s and stuff like that. And to me, I felt like this was Nintendo's take on what was happening in trend and pop culture. So as we see, it's a flipping device now, very similar to what the phones looked like back then. It was sleek. The color palette was very minimal, very pastel. It was sexy. It was a very sexy device. And you could tell in the advertising, like the top right corner was the Game Boy Advance ads, which a lot of them looked like that, very much for the kids. But when they brought out the SP, it became a lot more sophisticated, a lot more editorial. They definitely still had the kind of kid-focused ones, but they had these like cheeky adult lines, second best thing to do in the dark type stuff. And you're just like, okay, like who is this for? So it was very interesting to see their take on it. The product performed very well. It sold 31.79 million units in the first year. It was very well received. All my friends had it. I didn't get it. I had the Advance still, but I was always, jealous about that. So I created a mood board because, again, the marketing for this device was so diverse. What I want to do with the 2 days that I'm with you guys is I'm going to be creating 3 ads inspired by kind of the different takes of marketing that Nintendo did with the device. So today we're going to take more of a route on the top left and the bottom right, which is more kid-centric. It's very much something that you would have saw if in a Game Informer or like Nintendo magazine type thing that's for kids. It's super campy, super colorful, lots of like zigzaggy stuff going on. And then tomorrow we're going to take a more like sophisticated-y, fashion-y approach to it that kind of plays off of more of the design on like the bottom left corner and the second one here. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We got one today. It's action-packed. I think you guys are going to like it. And Can we proceed to Photoshop?
We can proceed to Photoshop. I'm really excited. I remember a Christmas. I don't remember how old I was, but this was back in the day when like my parents actually tried to surprise us with gifts. And I had like the original Game Boy. I had a pink one for the longest time. And one Christmas, I ran downstairs, opened up a box, and an SP was sitting there, and I like wanted to cry.
Oh, so you got one.
SP girl, I got one.
Man,
it was pink. I don't know what I did with it or where it is now. I think it might have destroyed it, but it was like my prized possession growing up.
They're so sleek. They're so cool. I have mine on deck here today.
Yes.
This is the one I bought for this. So yeah, it's fun. So for day one, we're doing one of the images again because I felt like it's a bit more heavy lifting on it.
Okay.
We're going to focus more on kind of the compositing aspect. So what I did was with the files, let's get them open. These are images that I took. I haven't done much of anything on them. I adjusted some of the contrast a little bit. So this is what it looks straight off the camera. And I cleaned up like some of the dust and just 20 something years of age that SP has probably had. So that's what I've done with each image. The concept for this one is going to be called New Stage, Same Classics. So I'll kind of get more into each image here in just a moment. So essentially what we're going to do with this concept is this Game Boy Advance SP is going to be a stage, and I'm going to be compositing myself on it, and we're going to have the classic games, like their classic titles, shooting out of the device to really represent that even if it's a redesign. You can still play all the games that you've already invested in on your SP. We're just getting a prettier package and something with a light.
Okay.
So that's what this image is. I'm going to do some warping and stuff to really give it a larger than life vibe. This is me doing like some crazy pose. I had to really get into my my game or vibe. I gotta we're gonna get rid of the Dallas Cowboy star. I just really like that hat. I wanted to like hold my Game Boy Advance as like a little Easter egg. That's actually the one I've had my whole life. So just as a way as like transitioning from this device to the new one, I gotta like fix my sleeve and like I noticed I don't like the dark in my socks, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. Cool. We're gonna cut me out, put me on the Game Boy. And then as you saw in the ads, like each Game Boy Advance ad, like they always had like a little Game Boy in the corner with the logo. So what we're gonna do with this one is cut it out and we'll end up putting it as a little logo on the ad.
Okay, I'm excited. How often do you kind of add yourself to your projects? Because I see we got you today. How often are you kind of the subject in your photos, in your composites as well?
I do it quite often, and it's always come out of a way of necessity initially. Like when I was learning it and learning this process, I had no proof of concept. So I would reach out to people, especially when I moved to LA, I'd be like, oh, hey, I want to do this. And they would go on my page and I just looked like a kid from Dallas. So it was a way for me to also like be able to prove like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. And also I have fun with it. I feel like I've kind of been doing it less, especially like this year, like the past 6 months. But I really enjoy doing it when I want to try something different or try something experiment. Like I'm just a guinea pig. So
I love that. And then real quickly, if y'all have any questions, it seems like the chat is pretty excited about this today.
Hope I don't fail y'all.
You will not.
Okay.
You will not, Serrandon. You will not at all. I can already tell we're already onto a good start. But if y'all have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll make sure that I read them off. So then that way we can make sure this is as engaging as it can be. And then if you are over on YouTube land, yes, I know I love YouTube too, but come over to Behance, b.net/Adobe Live. That way you can join the conversation and ask any questions. All right, Serrandon, go ahead, take it away.
Right. So first thing we're going to do is I want to align and kind of like straighten out this Game Boy before we really start doing it. There's also some hard shadows on this side that I want to kind of clean up. I had to put the Game Boy on like this clear case just the way the joints of it go, like it only snaps at certain angles. So I'm gonna kind of clean that up, and then we'll really get into like distorting it and warping it and everything there. So let's get this crop tool together. I always shoot, when I shoot, I like the Hype Williams, like fish-eyed, distorted things. So usually I shoot at like a wider angle or wider focal length, and I'll get closer to the subject. So it kind of has that distorted vibe, but it always bites me in the, goes and bites me back in the butt, because things just like, no matter how much I want it to look leveled out, it won't be because it's distorted. And also I think my head's a bit crooked, so I never I don't trust my head. It always leans on the side, so that too. And it's just done it so much that I'm like, I'm looking at, like, I'll look at the camera when we're talking, I'm just like, straighten. That's why things are coming out crooked. You shouldn't have to do all this. So that looks. Nah, he's still kind of tilting a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sometimes I'll do this ruler tool. Let's see.
I've never used the ruler tool.
It was like a trick I saw online because I just really wanted to straighten out a picture. And it comes in handy. You just kind of like line it up with what you are trying to make leveled. I always just try to get really close to it, and then you can go to image, rotate, and you do arbitrary, and the algorithm will be like, well, it should be like that. For some reason that still looks crooked to me, but we'll play with it a little bit. If I can just get it like one pixel. Let's see here. See how much I can. Okay, don't want to go past like 0.6. We may just deal with it. So let's see here. I'm like losing people. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't like when I get that close. Wow, Photoshop.
Okay. All right.
Right. It's like, okay. All right, we're back. So actually that looks pretty good. I just want to make sure I feel a little bit more in the center. Okay. So obviously there's like nothing land over there. So I'm a big content aware fiend. It's probably like one of my favorite features of Adobe. And if you don't know what content aware is, basically it will take what's surrounding it and just guess and be like, well, that should be there. So yeah, I like that. That looks good. I'm gonna try to do content aware. I'm not mad at this shadow, as I'm more so kind of mad at like this one, but
got it. Okay.
Let's see if content aware will do its thing.
Let's see. Okay.
You kind of got to give it some passes. So I'm just like, what I may do is get a little bit more so it knows what it needs to look at. Okay, we're getting close. If it gets close enough, I may just use the clone stamp.
The clone stamp too to kind of clean up the rest of it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, it's starting to lose some detail. Actually, don't look too bad, but what I may do, let's just see. I'll do it on the thing.
Yeah, I really love that. I really love the content aware tool in Photoshop. It just makes things so much easier. Before I figured it out, I was trying to like clone and like extend things, and it was just never accurate. And then I was like, oh wait, there's a whole tool for that.
And it really opens up your, I don't know, I feel like it allows you to even think a little bit even bigger than what you may have like on set at that moment. Cause you're like, I can expand this beyond what I want to do. It's a great feature. So that looks much better. I've always been like a pastel fiend, like, but I purposely bought just to kind of go off of this like era and time too. But I was like, I'm gonna buy like this really heavy blue like backdrop and really just try something different. But it was so fun like shooting on a like darker color. It definitely like affects the light and stuff a lot differently than I thought. So I'm cool with that. So what I'm gonna do, again, I really want to warp this bottom base because I want it to feel like we're on it and I want it to feel really like larger than life.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm going to just duplicate this for safety. I'm gonna call you cleanup.
See, Serrandon names his layers.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't, but I made a point. I made a point that I was gonna do it for this because I was like, people would be like, "Oh no," and I'm like, I made a point that I was gonna do it for this because
it's so funny because like every Adobe Live that I do, like whoever I'm hosting with is struggling with naming because it's like we're all telling ourselves, let's name the layers so that way whoever's watching can follow along. Because I don't do it personally either. But then it's like, oh wait, people are watching, they need to be able to follow too.
To follow along. And then also when things get like real messy, and that's when I'm always like, okay, I should have did this because then I'm trying to like hide stuff, unhide stuff, trying to figure out like, I just need the one with just my foot or whatever. And I'm just like, which one was that? It's great. I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those things like it's like laying out your clothes before the next day. Like it's great when you do it, when you wake up and you're like, I don't have to think about what to wear. So yeah, I use quick selection. I probably should have tried it, but I think this is a bit more precision because I've got to, essentially, I'm going to have to realign this joint with the top of the Game Boy. So to me, I feel like just doing the pen tool is probably better. I personally just use pen tool all the time, but I know it takes a lot more time, but I just know exactly what I'm going to get. And I don't have to do a lot of like, redefining or refining it and unselecting stuff. So I don't know, I'm going a little closer.
Yeah, it definitely helps to keep things as precise as possible. You have a little bit more control there.
Exactly. So almost there with them. Luckily this is just a square, so it just kind of makes it easier. Drag you about right here. I'm not too concerned about the base because I think it's going to end up being out of frame because we're just going to enlarge it so much. So I'm just going to go straight across. Okay, so that should be good. So let's make a selection. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to just make sure it's, put my feather at 0 and then just check this. So this is what we're looking at. I'm just going to smooth the edges a little bit.
Okay.
That looks good. Cool. So what I'm going to do, I'll bring these people back here and we can inverse this selection, get rid of everyone else. And then I'm just going to do some distortion. It's probably, again, one of my favorite things to do on here, but I'm going to essentially drag this out here and just gotta be careful to make sure these look even on the bottom. So it kind of makes it look more like a fisheye. And what I like about Distort is that it doesn't mess with the other end. So everything's still lined up the way it's supposed to be. I'm just making sure, now I'm trying to move you now. Making sure that it's that. And then let me see what perspective will do. Oh, nope. I don't think I'm gonna mess with perspective. Yeah, no. Okay, no, it's not doing what I want. Yeah, I'm good with that. I fish actually, if I can make it go down a little bit. Let me see what skew may do. that. Kind of want to get a little bit less of the game. There we go. So 19.4. Let's see here. It's probably as close as don't get.
That distortion was so cool. Like my mind is still not over.
It just makes such a difference. Like
it's
already,
a huge difference, and like it's just a cool tip. Like it does mimic a fisheye lens. So I am like speechless almost. I'm like, oh, I've never like thought to distort something in an image to mimic a fisheye lens. So that is just like so dope. But I can already see how it makes it more like lifelike. So okay.
Yay. No, I'm glad you're liking it. Glad it's working out.
It's working out so far.
Right. We're at a good point with the Game Boy for right now. So what I'm going to do is work on me. I need to work on me in real life too. But for this, I need to work on me. So again, I want to like clean up my sleeve and fix this sock situation and stuff before I really start cutting myself out. So we should be able to do the sock. This should just be like a simple quick select or times clone stamp. And I'm just gonna like take a piece of my sock and just like paint over it.
Did you shoot all of this at home, or do you have a studio space you usually go to?
I actually shot this at home. I've been trying to not shoot at home as much anymore just because I'm like, you know, trying to elevate. But I was like, we're going to do this at the crib. So I have some lights, and luckily my space is big enough to where it's like, I can lay it out like that. This one's going to probably be a little bit more tricky because of the way it's shaped. So what I'm going to do, this is actually a trick I do quite often when I'm just trying to like match an edge or create something that was never there, is I'm just going to trace it and just get enough information from it. And then... Are
you going to rotate it?
Rotate and mask.
Oh, that is so smart.
So...
That is so smart.
Let's see here. It's hard to see the vision right now, but I'm going to mask this. I'm just trying to... that may work because I'm really just taking this first piece, I think. Let's see what this mask does. So, and then my brush, let's just see what happens here. Yeah, that doesn't match. I probably just did a bad grab for it. So let's do that again. I probably took too much information from it.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna start with the scene. And then we can just go from there. This, and then again, like warping and stuff. Yeah, that's working. And then let's just warp.
That is so smart.
You down, I'm thinking. Some like that. And then I can use the clone stamp to kind of fill in the gaps. I'm trying to get those lines to match. That's always like a helpful way to, I probably distorted it a bit too much. And also I'm going to be like this big. So I've been trying to remind myself about like final results because I'm like, honestly, I'm going to probably be so small in this image that no one's going to see this, but it's like that TikTok that nobody's going to know. So I'm just
like, it's like as artists, sometimes you have to remind yourself that like sometimes these little details may not matter to the, you know, whoever's viewing the image, but at the same time,
but you're like, but I know it's there.
I know what's there.
I was watching a think piece situation or analyst breakdown of Toy Story, and it was really interesting with the first movie because when they went to Pizza Planet, that was, I believe, the only time in the film that you saw a full body character that wasn't Andy. And they were like, I guess it was because it was like 1999 or whatever, 1995 or something when that movie came out, they didn't have the bandwidth to be able to create all of those characters. So it was darkly lit on purpose to hide the detail. And if you watch the movie again, you'll notice like, I don't know, you'll just notice the kids look a little off, like they're not very fluidy feeling or anything. What I'm trying to do is I'm gonna see if I can content aware this and see if it'll like give me some of that detail. Yeah, that looks better. I just gotta replace some more color on it. I'm gonna merge all these layers. This is why I'm talking, this is when you just stop. This is when you're like, I'm gonna go rogue. I'm not naming the layer. Like, we just gonna figure this out real quick, but I'll merge all of this so it looks a lot cleaner.
I finished. Serrandon, we got a question for you from Eli. So Eli asked, I am very curious to know the creative process that went into the shoot. What sparked the idea and how it evolved?
One of my goals in life is to work with Nintendo. I really want to do a project with them. And people will tell you different things about creating specs and like, you know, whatever. I know Nintendo probably won't see that. Well, let me not manifest that, but they may see this and be like, let's fly you out to Japan or whatever. But I really just wanted to kind of live this fantasy of just creating something for them. And I'd rather pick something that is 20 something years old than like a Nintendo Switch or whatever. So yeah, I'm big on Tumblr. Like I'm always on Tumblr and saving just ads. I just love how creative advertisement used to be in the 2000s and the 90s. It was always just like really just catchy slogans and really just out of the box concepts. So I just really wanted to tap into that and just create something. And I'm a big fan of vintage technology and things like that. So I thought, what better to do this? What I'm doing is getting rid of my Dallas Cowboys sign. Boom. Where am I from? I don't even know. No offense to my other Dallas friends.
You said Dallas who?
Dallas who? I'm from LA, born and raised. I'm from LA. Yeah, I think those are the big things here. So I got rid of my star, fixed my sleeve, I fixed my sock. So what we're gonna do is I am going to use the quick selection tool for this because it's just like I'm doing way too much in this photo to try to pin around all this, and then we'll clean up around it. So just kind of grabbing myself here. Those shoes are. Oh,
I was just gonna say that like it's really important. Like I know we're not gonna manifest the negativity of you not getting to work with Nintendo. You will one day.
I'm gonna get my Nintendo check.
But sometimes, you know, you create the work that you like, you know, that you want to hopefully be hired for one, and then also creating the work that you're most like connected to.
Absolutely. Yeah. And kind of to your point of when you asked about like, oh, like you're a subject in a lot of your work, that was the basis of what a lot of that is especially if I'm diving into a new genre of content. A lot of people who hit me up now, like they want the campy, cartoony, like, you know, that kind of vibe of things. And sometimes I don't want to do that, but they don't know me for anything else because that's what I produce. Yeah. So it's like, well, if you want to make a gothic shoot, sometimes you're just going to have to invest in it yourself first and really like put it together. And I just think that's great. I just think that's a rule that anyone in any career should follow. It's like, I think there's a phrase called like attracts like, and I think that applies as creatives too. Like you got to kind of have to be what you are before you get to do it type thing.
Exactly.
So I'm like, you know, they'll see the potential.
Oh, exactly.
And they'll be like, okay, like let's go and have him to promote this Nintendo Switch or whatever. Gotta get my ears.
Yes, the selection is working out thus far.
Yeah, it's coming through. So I'm just kind of getting real close to get this detail in.
Awesome. And if you guys have any other questions for Serrandon, please be sure to drop it in the chat. Eli, thank you for that question. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything so far.
I got a question for y'all.
Ooh,
what were y'all's favorite game growing up? It doesn't have to necessarily be the SP if you didn't play it, or if you're like 12 and you weren't born, you're a Gen Z and you're like, what's a Game Boy? This old man is on this computer talking about stuff that like the dinosaurs played or whatever. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what mine was. What was yours?
I'm a big, so obviously Pokemon was like
Mm-hmm.
chokehold. Pokemon Sapphire
Mm-hmm.
had me down bad. Down bad, had me like running to my mom's room, telling her like I caught whoever, and she's just like, who are these people? Stop, like leave me alone. But I loved Pokemon. I loved Mega Man Battle Network. Mega Man had like an anime at the time that was like coming on, like I think Fox Kids or something. But it was very much like this kid would like log into the internet and be like Mega Man. So it was like he was like two different people type thing. So I always loved that because in my head there was always like a digital world. I'm a big Digimon fan too. So I was just waiting to just be like, I was waiting for my Digimon to come and like take me out of Garland, Texas, and to fight some Digimon or something. Like I just wanted that life so bad. I still think they're real. I don't know, but but that Mega Man game was one of my favorite. Dragon Ball Z had a bunch of games that I used to play.
Yep.
I love Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I think those were my big faves. But I guess I think I spent the most time playing Pokemon because it just takes that much to play that. It's really kind of like The Sims or whatever. Like,
yeah, I think Sims was for me. Somebody even just put in here, Sims all day. I'm seeing played Pong. I don't know what Pong was, but hooked it up to the TV, the home TV, and burnt the image of the tennis court into the screen.
Oh, like ping pong.
Yeah. Oh, ping pong.
Yeah, like the ping pong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's a classic.
Let's see. What else do I see in here? I see Home Alone, Pokemon. I see someone else. Yes, I didn't even know you could play.
They had a game for everything back then.
Wow.
Like franchise all day.
Wow. Somebody said, great job getting rid of the Cowboy star and now replace it with the Texans bull.
Oh, we can't have that drama here. We cannot have that drama here today. Let me go ahead. I think I'm missing some of my shoe here. Let's see here.
Ooh, Monopoly. Yes, I was a big Monopoly girl too.
That will start some drama. Like that's how you really learn about some people's Monopoly, because we don't do loans. That is not.
Nope.
We do not do loans in Monopoly. That's when things get like real messy and drama. Monopoly and like Uno, those are some games.
Uno is the game that if you want to fight.
Yeah, like things get,
It is not as, I don't show up as my best self when I play Uno.
People they really show their true colors when they play
Uno. Man.
So I am all selected here. There's probably some little things I'll need to do when I get over to here. So here we are, and now it's really about scale and just like, proportions. Not that you would ever be on a giant Game Boy, but to me, what's really important is that I'm not covering anything that's like obviously signature to the product, not like totally covering it. So I'm probably going to be blocking a couple things, but I can still tell there's like a button there, and I don't want to block the Game Boy Advance SP logo. So let's see, I'm still a little too big. I like that size. I don't like standing on the volume, and I'm kind of looking to my left. So I think I'm going to do like right here.
Yeah, I like that placement.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like he is about to see some crazy stuff. So it clearly does not look like I'm there. So we're gonna next really start focusing on like getting some shadows in.
Yeah.
If I really want, I guess we'll go here. I can get rid of this little piece from the backdrop. Yeah.
Ooh, somebody said they keep Uno cards on them all year round. I feel that.
You never know. It will bring, it'll really like light up a party. Like, it doesn't really matter where, just need a table and stuff. I just learned spades.
Someone
finally taught me spades, because the thing about spades is like nobody wants to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you don't know spades. Oh, well, I
You
don't
don't
have
know it.
time for you.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. We're about to play. I don't have patience or whatever. But it was a Christmas party and they did teach me spades, and it was fun. And also another game with quite a bit of drama, because you can lie in it. So what I'm gonna do, for me to create shadows, I'm gonna duplicate myself, and we're just gonna make me into like a dark figure. So we're gonna go to curves, and I'm just gonna bring it all the way down. So it's like, who's that Pokemon? And I'm going to transform, and essentially, first I'm just gonna bring it down like this, and then I'm obviously flipped, so gonna like flip you horizontal. So this is again like this is really like the word of the day is like distort.
Distort.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna skew this first, because I need my feet to match. So that looks,
wow.
and then to really like shape my foot and stuff like that will distort it. I think I want to be I want this to kind of come, I'm doing this like you can see, I really want it to come in an angle, the shadow, just to really help give that dynamic vibe. So let's see if I can skew you. No, he ain't gonna skew. So what I'll probably need to do is go to distort. Yep, there we go. And all the shadow won't be here at the end, but it's just nice to get a good idea of what your scale is going to be anyway, because it just, I don't know, it just works out somehow. So he's shifted enough to me for now. Yeah, like that. What I'm doing is it's just a lot of like tweaking that, and then I'm gonna bring out the warp, and we'll change the shape of the foot so it like locks in. So warp, we'll start with this foot. You're just kind of like bending it. And I'll eventually put this layer under the foot, but it's usually easier just to have it above for now.
Yeah.
This one may be a little trickier just because of the way it's shaped, and I don't want it to mess with the other leg too much.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this. Actually, no, I'm not gonna duplicate it. Yeah, I am gonna duplicate it, but I'm gonna make this into a separate layer just so I can have a little bit more control. So we'll just do a cut, and then I can just like transform this one a little bit more differently. So we'll warp it. Let's see here. Bring this foot in a little bit. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna warp it or rotate it. Let's see here. Looks good. And then I'm just gonna distort some more. Boom. And I'm gonna end up getting the brush tool and painting in some stuff too. Yeah. Okay. So it'll kind of connect a little bit better. Let me see if I can warp the top just so there we go. So, and we can fill in the blanks and do all of that, but that'll help. And granted, all of this isn't going to be like super visible. We're going to mask out a lot of this and kind of blend it down. What I really liked about the Nintendo ads back then as well, like they weren't so like fixated on practicality. Like it doesn't have to be, especially for like those 90s ads, like they don't have to be like you're looking at a Marvel film in regards to like shadowing and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to look like super duper perfect, but obviously I want to look like I'm connected to the Game Boy.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like connect these dots a little bit. It's probably too big of a stroke. There we go.
PJ said, I broke up with a guy over a game of spades. I set him up and he said everything rude to me and I didn't need that. Even his mom picked up on my change in attitude. Wow.
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 You really do get to know people. Like when the stakes are
Wow.
high, you really do, you
Oh
get to know
no.
people.
I mean,
So,
I can understand maybe you yell out of frustration, but saying mean things and
you
being
know,
rude.
it
Oh,
opens a can of worms. It
yeah.
opens up a can of worms. I'm glad it happened over a game of Uno and not, or game of spades and not like at the altar.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
much cheaper to do before it
Yeah.
was like,
Gotta find the
um,
silver lining in everything, you know?
exactly. So I like where it's placed. So what I'm gonna do is first, just thinking of physics, because
Mhm.
this goes downward, this should actually shift a little bit. So I'm going to actually, let me combine these. So I'm combining, and I'm also, y'all see, I can, ooh,
Ooh,
was not
merge
trying to do
layers.
that. Merge layers.
There you go.
I'm not labeling things. So let's name it. This is when things start to get messy. So I'm like, let's just go ahead and let's go ahead and name it. So I'm gonna slide this shadow over just a bit, just to kind of play off of the fact of the shape of the game. And then I'm gonna take the bottom line and do the same. Let's slide them over. I don't really think, oops, I don't think this is going to even show. Is he moving? Oh, I'm not doing the right thing. There we go. Let me do that again. Slide you and then get real close and we'll fill in the black. Keep doing that.
Okay.
Perfect. And also, actually, since this goes straight down, he should actually go straight down too. So let's transform you. Oh, should have did that on a separate layer. You know what? Before I do all that, I don't think it's gonna end up being visible when I mask it. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do right now is just kind of like clean up some of the leftover shadows, and then we're gonna blur this shadow down so it doesn't look so sharp.
Okay.
So let's just do this. And get my brush, get a little bigger.
Okay.
Boom. Just kind of fill that in. And then we're gonna get the blur brush thingy majig, and I'm gonna put it at like full power. And essentially I'm just blurring the corners or the edges of the shadow just so they just don't look so sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of repetitive. You're just kind of grazing it. I don't know if you can even tell on the screen.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit.
Okay. So yeah, really what it's doing is just blurring the edges of it, just
Yeah.
so shadows aren't that sharp.
Yeah, I can see it blurring.
Do that a little bit longer. Kind of go fast at it. Need a few more strokes and then we'll blend it down, but it already looks much more like a shadow.
Yeah.
Get a little closer here and then we'll mask this out.
Yeah, it's already looking like a shadow. This is actually really dope. So you had made a copy of yourself and then you used the
curve.
The curves to
Mhm.
make it dark, and then you flipped it. Ah.
Flip it and reverse it.
Flipped it. Oh,
You know, literally. That's also, I guess, the slogan of today. We're just flipping stuff. And what I'm doing now is we're gonna blend it or kind of like mask out. So none of this is really gonna show. I don't think it needs to be that. I'm
Okay.
on the wrong one. Am I doing the right thing? Oh, I think my opacity is just really low. So what I'm doing right now is just masking out. What color? Okay, I'm sorry. There we go. What I'm doing now, I'm just masking out some of the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the opacity at 100% yet. I really want it to kind of trail off. This is going to be like barely visible here. I mean, it's at 82, so technically something's there, but as we get closer to my feet, the shadow will be denser. So I'll try like 40 here.
Yeah.
And that's still like, I'm going to get rid of that a little bit more too. But sometimes it's kind of good to just like work your way into it. So it's like tap it a few more times. Get rid of a few a little bit. And then let's go a little lower. Let's try like 12. Let's see what 12 does. Yeah. So I'm really just getting around my foot. Kind of coming closer. And really doesn't need much. There we go. So yeah, I like the way that's like rolling off. So let's tap in a little bit more. So that looks cool. I think this a little bit. I could probably go a little harder on this foot. There we go. That'll do for now. I can always go back and probably blend it a little bit more in a minute. But what I want to do as well, when you get close to the shadow, it still looks a little like separated. So I'm going to create a layer on top of myself, and we'll just call him like shadow 2. And I'm just going to get the black brush and paint over the base of my shoe. Bit, just so it like kind of connects more. My opacity is a little low. That's probably not a bad idea. Let me try 76. And I usually will just like kind of go over it, not thinking too much, and then we'll like mask it just to kind of refine it a little bit. So let's see here. That way they just look a little bit more connected. Oops. Boom. And then let's just create another mask. My brush. We'll just kind of give it a little bit more shape. And see what like some blending modes would do, if they make any difference. I kind of like hard light. Let's see. Just add a little bit more right there. Good. So we come out, yeah, it looks a lot more connected. And cool, I'm happy with that for now. What I'm also gonna do is add a gradient to myself. So I'm just gonna go to blending options. And essentially what this is just gonna do is kind of add some shadows and add some like kind of more lighting for myself in here. So I just usually do like a black and white, and then you should be darker on the bottom. The light's hitting me this way. So I'm trying to, it'll also help with blending in the feet a little bit. And then we just change the mode. Let's see which mode I need to do. Turn this opacity down some. Color burns a little too much. Multiply. So you kind of just like look around. Oh, I kind of like lighten.
Yeah, I like lighten.
What's the opposite of lighten? Let's see what like. No, that makes me way too bright. Hard light. Actually kind of like hard light. Because it really just does a good job at like darkening me down there. And then I can play with the scale a little bit. That looks good. And that'll just kind of help with kind of disguising the feet a little bit more. So right now we are looking good. I'm going to also desaturate myself a little bit. So let's see here. Just so I fit a little bit in a little bit more. Cool. So we're here. So that looks good for now. Actually, no, one more thing I want to do with me. They were really big about adding an outer glow to everything on those like Nintendo ads. So I want to add an outer glow to myself just to make me look really like I'm getting zapped into this thing.
I really love how much you pay attention to certain themes and things that you would see in ads, and when you're trying to recreate something, I don't know, just being able to pull from elements that the actual company did include. It's really dope.
Thank you. No, I feel like that's what makes it, like, if you ever want to parody something or really like that, it's those little details.
Yep.
Like I was watching, what was I watching? Like Charlie's Angels, the Cameron Diaz, like Lucy Liu one. And when I watched it, I was just like, wow, I can tell that the Matrix like changed the game during that era, because everybody was doing like those like camera move things that they were doing on the Matrix. It was just like everywhere. And I was like, wow, they really were like going to town on that with this, with that movie. So you just start to see like trendy elements and stuff that were used a lot. Actually, now that I've gotten a little closer to my hat, I'm just gonna get the eraser and try to like clear up that hard edge that's around like the outside of my hat a little bit. Let's see. Oops, that's a little too much. It's like really subtle, but I just see like a blue outline.
Yeah, I see it too. And then as far as your creative journey, what really led you to the photo compositing? Did you start off as a photographer and then, video came into play? And then like, what did that journey look like for you?
For me, I think it was really the aspect of world building. I started doing photos first, but I always knew I wanted to get into doing video and things like that. I always say, I'm like, I want to be Jordan Peele when I grow up. So Jordan Peele, if you're watching this, check your DMs. There's already some DMs there begging for a job. Monkey Paw, check your DMs. Yeah. I've been asking for a job and I sent y'all the bride. So watch my back. But yeah, I always wanted to do film, but for photos, I've always just been a really big fan of like anime and world building and just like that kind of like out of the box fantasy aspect of it. So out of just like a way of necessity, because I can't afford a graphic designer right now. So I'm just like, let's figure it out. Let's go to Google and YouTube University. And, great thing about Adobe is like, they have a lot of resources and a lot of people use Adobe. So you can learn from I'm just naming this real quick, Gamer Sat. You can learn from a lot of people who have already done it. And as you start to learn things, like you pick up other things. So I guess that's really what helped me. I thought I named you Shadow too. I guess I must have. I was like, I swore I named you. What the heck happened? Something happened with him. I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm going crazy. Okay, I think I'm going crazy. Let me blend this down. I must have went back on it. So yeah, I think that was really where it started, and just trying to create stories and create visuals that are like larger than life and that are really expensive to do if you try to do it all practically. And I think that's where like compositing and like VFX and stuff really come into play. So now you're called Shadow 2. So next, we're actually going to chill on Gamer. And what I'm going to do just to help with the chaos is we're just going to group all of these people together. I'm just going to name you Gamer for now. And we're actually going to go back to our screen. I misspelled clean. Look at that. And what I want to do is I want the screen to glow. So all these games are going to be coming out of the screen and all of that stuff. So to really help with that effect and really help look like you're stepping into like this new world, I'm going to have it glow. I don't want it to affect the Game Boy SP.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is we'll just start it from like here. And we'll just do like a rectangle.
Okay.
And actually, let me do it this way because I don't even really need to affect that. I just created a new layer. I'm just gonna do this all in the layer. I'm gonna do, because the glow, essentially what I'm gonna do is just, I'm gonna slap a gradient on it, but we're gonna have it like feather and maybe add some blur so it has like that kind of like roll off that you get from a glow.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna feather this first and then gradient. Pick a color, and I'm trying to go within this color palette. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just like select a color.
Yeah, try to pick up a color and see.
And then I want something that's like not here, just so it kind of sticks out. And with glowing stuff, like I always think of like kind of like a yellowish light. So we can go with that here. It's pretty, I like that. So let's see here. Since the games are gonna come from left and right, I'm gonna have this, let's see what this does. Okay, that looks cool. So we're going to, that's the initial screen. And then what I'm gonna do is go to blur. I'm gonna try a motion blur just to really get it to spread. There we go.
Ah, okay.
So now it's like, ooh, something's coming out of this type thing. We'll just have it at 0. So yeah, I like that. I feel like that looks very,
I love that.
Yay. So yeah, that's our screen glow. Right now, actually what I'm gonna do, again, back to just Nintendo's love of adding outer glows to things, let's add one to this Game Boy too. So really like, and it'll also give it more connection to the reason why the gamer is glowing too, I would say, because it's like, oh, well, this is glowing type thing. I really like noise a lot. So I just added a little noise to it. See if I can make this spread a little bit longer. See what that looks like. That looks too sharp. Put this side a little bit. Oop. So you just kind of like fiddle. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that.
I don't know how that happened, but let's just turn this opacity down a little bit. Okay, yeah, I like that. That looks very much like I'm looking at a magazine. So next, we actually have some more projects to open up. I created like a handful of games that are going to come out each side. So I thought long and hard about who was going to be. I feel like Tyra Banks. Like there's probably like 300 of you, but in my hand, I only have 10 photos. So,
and the first person going home is like,
oh goodness, she is a trip.
Oh, she really is. She really is. Shout out to Tyra.
Shout out to Tyra. So what I'm doing, I have these games. I made picked 10 of just my favorite childhood games, and I just went on and resized them just to help with time. Okay. So what we're gonna do is actually create a new project. And essentially, since there's 10 games, I'm gonna have them like a train. So for each one, I need it to be the equivalent of what the width of that is. So they're 540 by 540. So the height is going to be 540 because it's the height. But since there's 10 of them, I did the math, and that's going to be 2,700. Okay. And we'll just call this train left, or I'll just call, train left. Poof. So next, we just need to insert the games that we want. So I'm going to dedicate the left side to like the Pokemon. So we'll do Ruby and Sapphire, and then Emerald. That was like the third one they brought on for it. I'm going to do Crash Bandicoot and Zelda. Okay. For this. And essentially, we're just gonna copy paste. So copy you, take you to the train, and just gonna drag you over here. And then we'll do the same with Sapphire, take you just keep adding you here.
Okay.
And let's see here. Emerald. I really want to. Well, it's so funny because when I was shooting this, I was looking for my sapphire and I cannot find it. So that's an issue, but they're so expensive to buy now. If you're in LA, yeah, if you're in LA, you guys should check out a store. It's a local business called Cali Games. They're out in a park called Hawthorne, but they have like, that's where I bought my SP. Like it's a store full of just vintage games.
Wow.
These games get like, I was like, you should find your pink SP because like I had to pay $130 for my SP.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, when they came out, they were only $99.
Yeah, I was gonna still.
Yeah, Nintendo, especially Nintendo games, like they don't lose value. So yeah, this is our first train. I'm gonna create our second train really quick. So we're gonna do the same thing, just with the other games. So file new.
Perfect. And if you guys are over on YouTube, make your way to behanceb.net/Adobe Live. That way you can ask any questions. I know we have quite a bit of y'all still in the chat. If y'all have any questions, comments, anything you want to share with Serrandon, let us know. Let us know.
So who we have? We have Mega Man. Kingdom Hearts. That's another one that just that's a ride, man.
Oh, Kirby was a big
Kirby.
Kirby was a big one for me. Yeah.
We got them all here. All the classics.
And Sonic. Oh,
I want to see. So it's so funny. I was at McDonald's because I'm basic. And I didn't know they had the Happy Meal toys for Sonic. And
really?
Yeah, because the movie came out.
Oh, did the movie actually already come out?
Yeah, I think it just came out last week.
Oh,
so
I know what I'm doing this weekend.
That part. I want to go see Sonic. Because I love Tails. I've always just been a Tails fan. So they actually had he was the only one they had that Happy Meal toy for when I was there. Wow. So I bought it. It was only $1.89. I was like, I love it. I was like, yeah, you gotta treat yourself sometimes. So I'm worth it. I'm worth $1.89.
Yes, you're worth it. Listen, you're worth that and more.
I guess it's kind of shady that I'm putting Mario last, considering he's like the Mickey Mouse of Nintendo, but
it's all right. He'll be all right.
So
we have a question real quickly. PJ asked, are you going to animate so that it revolves around?
So what I'm going to do like a motion blur. So they're going to come out almost like strips coming out of each screen. So we're going to add some motion blur and blend it to really give the illusion that it's in movement, but there's not actually going to be any like animation done.
Got it.
But it's going to look like it's shooting out of the screen essentially. What I just did was I basically combined all the layers. I think it's like Command Shift. I don't know, my fingers let me do it real quick. So it's like Command Shift E. Yep. And it'll turn them on to something. Because we're just going to copy. Command Option Shift E does it. So this is our left train. So this is kind of like an example of what I'm going to do. I'm copying this layer and we're going back to our main project. And I'm just going to paste them here for now. And actually, let me go ahead and get the right train too while we're at it. Where am I at? I'm sorry, my little screen recording is like right on top of it. So
to the right. Or
am I to the right?
Next one. Yeah, that
okay, thank you. I was like, I can't see. So now that they're just here, essentially this side is going to come out. This train's going to come out from this side. This is going to come out from this side. Let me name you. You're train left, right? Okay, yeah, we'll call you train left.
Oh, Misty said, I just got a Happy Meal last night. I thought I was going to get a Sonic toy, but I got a Fred bobblehead from Scooby. I got ripped off. Oh.
Well, no shade to Scooby. I was just like, what are they promoting to have Happy Meals? Huh?
It's the way you said Fred.
No, I wanted Sonic. I want Knuckles. Dude.
No, that would
So
upset me too.
yeah, especially in the box probably has Sonic all over it. So that's weird. What I did, I just did the transform. So we're doing perspective.
Okay.
And what this is going to do is really give it like a 3D vibe. Obviously it's way too big. It's going to get bigger as we like do it, but I really want to like stretch it, really make it look campy. We'll aim it for the center. And then I'm just going to resize it to make sure that like it fits. So actually he may be a little too, he like raise this a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go. But I really want to make sure the Game Boy part of it is still in view. So let's see. Just bring you up a little bit. Boom, boom. I like it. And just to make it easier, I'm just going to get this one in place too. They're probably not going to be like exact because I don't know how to do that. But but I'm just going to eye it and get it as close as I can to make sure these look like they're coming equally from other directions. And moving a little faster, I'm just resizing. Oh no, I don't want Mario to lead the way. I did it. I made an So I really want Sonic in them to be first.
So you wanted to see.
So we actually need to go back to our train and redo this. So I'm just going to shift everyone over. So Sonic, Mario, you go here. Sonic, Mega Man, Kirby. And this is actually in order of like, well, I don't know. I can't really say this is in order of my favorites out of this because the first three are like really hard to like this to pick. Okay, cool. I like that. There we go. So now Sonic will lead the way. So we're going to copy him, go here, paste him. There we go. So let's bring that perspective back. And I'm just going to make you bigger, make you smaller. Boom. This size. This is just a lot of like back and forth you essentially have to do. And let's just distort you. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. I'm trying to eye everything.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm a little off. There we go. I could probably bring this one in a little bit more on the distort. Maybe about right there. And then I think Sonic needs to be a little bit more like raw. Okay.
There we go. Okay.
I'm happy with that. So, oops, let's name. Right. So next, what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna duplicate this, and I'm going to do, and this is actually, I should have did this from the jump. Y'all, make sure you convert things into smart objects. Make your life easier. Just do it. So I'm gonna convert that into a smart object, and we are going to add motion blur again. So actually, before I get into that, let me hide this because I really want to make sure. Okay, cool. So now we're going to do the motion blur. And this is what's going to help give us that. Ooh, that's a lot of blur. I like that. Let's see if I can get it. No, it probably does need to go left and right because the image originally was. You know what it reminds me of? You remember like the Disney Channel original movie opening, the let's watch a Disney Channel movie. And the kids are like, like that's what. Way that would get
Disney
so hyped.
Disney Channel, they really, gosh,
and they were singing down for that song too, like vocals.
Let's watch a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, they had them singing. Yeah, so we can't see. I can't really see it. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of, let me see if I can get it to catch it.
Francisco asked if anybody remembers the Even Stevens musical. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, she has a smart filters apply this there be turned off to early. Okay. There we go. Who was Ren? She has like a YouTube channel
She
now.
does. She
And she's
does.
always just like spilling tea about it's not like messy, but it's just
She's
cool to hear. She's always just giving just cool like things that we would not have known because we weren't in that world about
Yep.
what it was like to be on that network.
Yep.
Shout out to Ren. Subscribe. I don't know.
Yes.
We're gonna promote everyone here. So this is what I'm gonna
wait, give me a moment, bro. Leave me a moment. So subscribe. I don't know.
subscribe.
Okay,
I mean, subscribe. She, you know, it's a good channel.
It's a good channel. It's a good channel. Check her out. Check her out.
Check her out. So what I'm doing now is I added a mask to the top one, essentially because these edges are so like big. I'm just going to what's my opacity? So I'm just gonna like graze, if I can figure out like graze out the what is up with me and this mask today? I am just like not figuring out these brushes. But once I figure it out, we're just gonna mask out the corners of it so that they can kind of blend more so with the blur. Let me do this again. My brushes, oh, it's just so small. I can't see my stroke. There we go. I was like,
there you go. Okay,
there
now
we
you
go.
can see it.
So we're gonna turn this opacity down quite a bit. Nah, not that much. And I could probably come out a little wider. Something else I've been learning is like some things you probably shouldn't go so close into. So close,
yes.
Because it'll, I don't know, you got to see like the bigger picture of it. We got to find the bigger picture. That's a life motto.
Life model. Find the bigger picture. Yeah, because exactly if you're too caught up in seeing things like so close up, then when you zoom out, then you're gonna realize sometimes it looks a little off. So it's better to take it from the perspective of the full image than getting all up in those pixels, you know?
Exactly. So I'm still just like finding a good like length. There we go. That'll like blend it in. So I'm just taking it on the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's already moving so fast. And this will just help it blend with the back a little bit more. So now it looks a little bit more like it's coming out. I may go a little harder on the front just because it's more detailed. Let's see. I don't like the way that looks. And the good thing about masking is you can always undo things. So switch that a little closer. Boom. Okay, that looks cool. Maybe come a little closer here, really get rid of that edge. Clean it up here. There we go.
Yeah.
Oops, just left it there. And I'm just kind of getting closer in the detail. You know what? Let me turn my hardness down a little bit. That'll probably help a little bit too. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, yeah, that looks really nice.
All right. So next, and I'll probably tweak out it a little bit more. I wonder if I can get this corner a little bit. No, I don't like the way that, I'm not mad at it actually. What we're gonna do is actually add a depth of field to this too.
Okay.
So it really kind of helps it look like it's coming out. So doing this, I go to blur gallery, fill blur, and we're going to add points. And this is also a really good tool to use if you're taking portraits and stuff and you really just want to just give it more of like that just dramatic feel. So it does a really great job. So essentially what you're doing is you're adding pins to each part and you're just adjusting the level of blur. So obviously the ruby and sapphire would be more in focus. This would be a little bit out of focus. And then this would just be like super duper out of focus. So let's see what that does. And I mean, you can really pick. I want the games to be visible enough. So I think I'll kind of go with that. And see what that
I love that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a really cool feature.
Oh, wow.
Let me do a little bit more tweaking with this mask too.
And then Miles said that you've been an inspiration since high school. Love seeing your work. Thanks for Adobe for hosting.
Miles, yo, I know Miles. You know, when it's just Miles, when you're just hearing it, you're like, oh, okay. Miles, yo.
Miles Bolden, yep.
Shout out North Garland High School, man. That was a school, the Raiders, go Raiders. Yo, what's up, Miles? Yeah, I like that better. So we're gonna do that same thing. And also these games are ultra saturated. So once I'm done with this second one, I'm gonna desaturate them and kind of just make them look more like they're coming out, they're just attached to the rest of this. So what we're gonna do again is I'm gonna duplicate my train. We're going to hide this bottom one and I'm going to create a motion blur.
Yes, a motion blur.
And the settings should still be the same, so I shouldn't have to do anything. Yep. And then we'll just put it on the top. And I'm going to distort you a little bit. Boom. Okay. Cool. Actually, that just let me see that Sonic is still a bit not totally in bounds. There we go.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to mask out the top one just to really blend in the, whatchamacallit, brush, sharing on black. Oh yeah, left train is not giving me problems. You see that? Look at that right train. This is how it was supposed to go.
This is how it was supposed to go, but the other one was acting some kind of way.
Seriously, probably because it's Pokemon. It's a diva, you know, like they're like, oh well, we're the highest selling Nintendo game ever. So yeah, like we're gonna be a little.
And listen, humble yourself.
Exactly.
Know?
Exactly. So yeah, that blended so much better. Oh, thank goodness. I think I'm gonna connect this edge a little bit more on that. For some reason it looks so weird. Okay, so next we're going to add that fill blur again, just to give it the same amount. So fill blur, we're actually almost done too. We're getting there. So I'm gonna do these 3 points, and actually that's a point, so I can do this blur, turn you all the way down.
Yeah, this blur that you're doing right now is probably the biggest takeaway I'm taking right now, because I did not know this existed.
I only recently found out about it, but I love when you find an effect that you're like, this is about to change.
Listen, this could change the exactly, and especially when you mentioned doing it on portraits.
Because yeah, you maybe want it just to be a little bit more dramatic, like you can add it, but it looks. Sometimes I'm not a fan of like digital depth of field. I can't say their word. It's that Fruit brand. I don't want to say it because also I want to work with them. So like, you know that brand with the fruit. But they have a feature where they kind of do it, and I don't like it because it doesn't look real to me. And I always tell my friends, like, you know, I'm your friend when I'm like unsolicited, like texting you with like feedback about your content. Like, I bully all my friends about that. I'm like, yeah, I saw you post that, and I'll tell them like, yeah, I don't do that, like that effect, because it just
yeah.
So we got them again. I want to desaturate these a little bit because they just look actually, ooh, I did not mean to do that. Actually, what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to open this up in camera raw filter, and just so I have a little bit more control over what it's looking like. This is normally, like, if I'm doing a portrait and stuff, this is where I do all the coloring. I don't, it's pretty much like if you're a Lightroom fiend, and also this is exposing Sonic, he's still out of bounds. But I'm just kind of muting these just to really make it look faded and like it just like age. So let me like bump up the blue. Actually, what I'll do is, bump up this blue, maybe kind of.
There you go. Yeah.
So he's good. And then let me just, no, he's not out of bounds. I don't know. Okay. And we'll do the same thing for this side. Filter. Wrong thing. Camera. There we go. So again, I'm really just going to the curve, like bring you up. And drag you. That looks crazy. This picture is just like a little bit more. There we go. And we will bump that up a little bit. See how he measures. Probably should have, no, I didn't convert it. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. So we got them blasting out. What I wanna do next is, actually I wanna add in that other Game Boy, because he's just been chilling for a minute.
He has been chilling.
So this one, because there's like a lot of little moving parts, it was so much to get this thing to be in the position that I wanted it. So I'm gonna do the pen selection and we'll just select it out. But I'm gonna have to cover out probably like the reflections. I'll cover out like my finger and like the dark piece that came from the tripod and stuff like that. So let's see here. Just selecting. And this is what I love about like editing photos versus video, because on a day, like I'm just like doing a lot of keying and stuff. I've got some music playing, like I've got podcasting and TV, Netflix on in the background. And when you're like doing video, you have to be so
you
have to listen to stuff, unless you're like coloring it and stuff. But 90% of the time you like
gotta listen to
gotta listen. So it's like quiet and it's just like you're in your room.
Yeah, I find it very difficult to edit videos because of that. I just can't get myself to just listen. I need something.
It's like
it's bad.
It's bad. I mean, it's just, it takes so much like concentration, and you'll edit like 3 seconds of the video. You're like, woo, I need to get some Starbucks. I think we're done for today. And you realize you've only done like 2 seconds of the video. Something happened. Let me pull this back a little bit. I lost my connection on there.
Eric said, too bad I don't live in Cali. Can't wait to work for that fruit brand.
Look, job security.
No,
I want to, they're on my list. Also, y'all, and this is just some like, while we're pinning things, write a list. I don't care what industry you're in. You could be a teacher, you could be a real estate agent, you could be a photographer. Write a list of just brands, things you want to do, and don't put too much emphasis on it. Actually, I watched an interview Oprah did like a while ago. I think she was promoting the Wrinkle in Time movie. And an interviewer asked her, it was like one of those like press rounds where everyone was just like in the same room type thing. But the interviewer was just like, she's like, this is a full circle moment for me, because I have always wanted to interview you. You're on my mood board. And she's like, asked Oprah, and it was like Oprah, Mandy from like the Mandy Project, and I think like Reese Witherspoon or somebody, I don't know. But they were just like, she actually like, do you use mood boards or do you still create mood
Mm,
boards or anything? And like Reese and Mandy were like, yeah, like I do them all the time. And Oprah was like, I used to do them. I don't do them anymore. She's like, I kind of just say what I want and I just, or she'll kind of notate what she wants, but she
mhm,
doesn't really revisit it. She just kind of
mm.
does enough because when you put too much thought into it and stuff, it kind of like resists a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do that every year. I'll make a list of just companies, brands, or just maybe goals that I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
Not even just goals, because more so dreams, because
Mm-hmm.
goals are supposed to be measurable.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't measure if you're going to get to work for the fruit brand or
Yeah.
whatever. You can't really create an action plan of like, okay,
Yeah.
this is how I'm going to work for them. But what you do is you just make that list and you put it somewhere and you may look at it again, you don't, but just the process of like writing it is,
Yeah, it's huge.
yeah, a lot of stuff just goes on in your brain. It's honestly really fun to do and very motivating, but you'd be surprised like how much it sits in your brain like subconsciously,
Yeah.
and you start acting and you start making sure the decisions you are making and the choices you're making for your
Mm-hmm.
career or creatively are like aligning you with it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get to work for the fruit brand right now. However, I can make sure like shooting tech content or being shooting
Yeah.
on the product that they use, their
Yeah.
phone, I don't know, stuff like that. So
No,
just a
it's
little.
so true. You have to be able to like, because sometimes you might, you don't realize how much you want to do or how much, like how big your dreams are until you sit down and like really ask yourself, okay, what is it that you want to do? And give yourself
Absolutely.
that space to just kind of dream and write and I don't know, just kind of write something that might seem realistic, something that might not. Like what does it matter? Whatever it is, big or small, being able to call it all out.
Absolutely. It's a fun task.
Hmm.
That's y'all's homework today, outside of like
Yes.
buy a SP as well. Like let's play SPs today. And also we need your goals.
Yes. I see
Um,
Eric said that they want to work with Call of Duty Mobile. See? Call it out.
Call it out. Call it out. And I love it. I love it. Call of Duty is that's a game I really need to get into.
Oh, I
But I'm
was really
afraid.
oh I
People are wild on that game,
It's
man.
wild. I
You have to have
used to
some
play.
thick skin.
You do, you do. I used to play Call of Duty like growing up, like with my cousins and stuff. And I would play with them, and then I would play with like strangers, and like I just couldn't stomach it. I can't,
It is
I was too weak.
it is a lot. I play Fortnite a lot. I don't know why. I'm
Mm,
very childish, but I'll play Fortnite. I just mute the mics. I don't hear what anyone's saying, but
mhm.
I'll do like the Fortnite and all of that. I'm gonna put this. So I just finished doing the pin. So I'm gonna put this at 0, and then we'll go to just the refine, select the mask, and really. Okay, that's not too shabby.
Mm-mm, not too shabby at
Um,
all.
a little feather there. And what we're gonna do is we'll inverse the selection, get rid of everyone,
Hmm.
and I'm just gonna copy you and put you over here. So, and I can actually show like a quick reference of what I mean, but like on the commercials and stuff, you can always see like there's a Game Boy on the bottom corner, or they
Okay.
just did it all the time. So that's more so what I'm doing.
That is that attention to
Yeah,
detail.
they always just have one. There's a lot going on the bottom of my image. So I'm going to put them on the top right, like right
Hmm.
here. And then we're going to add that good old fashioned outer glow. Actually, put him on top. Let's name you GBASP. And I'm just going to add an outer glow. What am I looking at? Okay. I was like, wait, what am I doing? Who am I? Where? I just forgot for a second. Oh, that looks, oh, I like it.
Yes.
So just, I like the opacity. Let's see if I lower the spread. Yeah. Cool. So we got him chilling up there. And I'm also going to insert the logo. Nintendo, don't sue us. I'm gonna put that logo right here. Sure. So yeah, I just got a transparent image of it and really just gonna select this something, scale you down. And we'll just put you center placement. And again, I'm gonna add a glow. And once I add the glow, I'll really be able to kind of better align it. Let's see, it's a little too much. So let's turn down the size. No, it's not enough. Cool. So we'll move you a little bit more over here and move you a little bit. See how that looks overall. I actually think it's too big. A little smaller. And make it a little smaller. Okay, I like that. So we're looking like an ad so far.
Yes.
What I want to do is I think I'm going to add a bit more glow to the gamer. So just boost that spread a little bit. Not too much. Oh, and you know what? I just had an idea. Let's do this. I'm going to delete these effects from you. Just to really play off of kind of that motion blurry movement that's coming from the games. I'm gonna tie it in with the gamer too, because I feel like the gamer is really like a cool bridge to everything that's going on. Like the glow, he's connected to the glow. We should connect him with some of the movement too.
Yes.
I'm gonna go real dramatic with it. And then maybe give it a little bit of an angle. Perfect.
Yeah, I love that you just added that.
And let's just see what the blend does. Ooh, that was nice. Who was that? Soft light? Okay. And then I'll just turn the opacity down just a bit. Perfect. Just so it looks like he has some stuff going on. Also kind of gives some reflection vibe a little bit. I realize. Like looks like he's kind of reflecting on the material. What I'm going to do next is add the font, and then we'll really just start tweaking and just doing like fine tuning stuff and finessing. That's actually shout out to a gaffer I worked with. He said that word when we were on set one day. He's like, oh, we're just finessing the light. Because they were done with it, but they're just like, now we're just having fun. So I was like, oh, I like that word. So that's my new word.
There you go. Finesse that light.
Something that I feel like is one of my just like my kryptonite is like font. I'm always there's just so much science to font, and that's just a world. Like typography is a world, but
it's a huge world, yeah.
It's crazy. So I did some research just to try to figure out like what font I want to use. And there was a film, shout out to a friend of mine, Cody, who put me onto a film called Hackers. They were just like, I feel like you're going to like this movie. But Hackers, it came out in 1995, obviously like a whole decade before this whole thing happened. But it was actually Angelina Jolie's like second movie. It is a vibe. It is a fashion film, but it's about like these teen hackers in New York. And it's one of my favorite movies. I mean, it wasn't well received, but those are always the best ones.
Yeah.
But, I love that movie, and I actually end up looking more into the font of that because they were really dealing with like cyber and like it gave you a Y2K vibe before Y2K like really like pivoted and became a thing of the 2000s. But the font is called OCRA. And it's actually a font I got off of Adobe Font. So yeah, it's licensed. They have a few options. I added all three, and we can just like play with it. But the title of this one is, again, I'm gonna do lower caps. It's called New Stage. Oops, not new dot stage. New Stage. same classics.
Mm.
And I thought, I don't know, it also, it took me forever to figure out like what to call this thing, what to call the ad, but I meant like stage, because you know when you play video games and it's like, oh, you're on the new level, new stage, like you're on the next. So I meant that kind of playing off of the, like we're on a stage because I'm on this Game Boy, but also like we're going into this new stage.
I love that. But it's the same classics that you've already known and you're
Exactly.
familiar with. Yeah.
So I was like, this feels like an ad. So we're just gonna put him put it center, and again, I'm gonna add some glow.
Add that glow.
You know, and let's just see. I may darken the font a little bit just so it make it white. And I really want to play with the noise on it. Oh, it's already got quite a bit of noise. Let's just boost the size. And noise, and maybe play with the opacity. Yeah, there we go. I always forget about opacity. I'm like, it's just not popping enough. And then I was like, oh, because so opacity is at like 2. So
that'll help you out, you know?
Yeah. Push it out a little bit more. And I'm gonna make the font a little bit more yellow now that I have that white surrounding it. Here, let's just play with the saturation. See what right there does.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wow.
Now that I've had some time away from this train, Sonic and them look a little like they could be coming. No, you know what? I think it's Pokemon. I'm not feeling something about it. So I'm gonna, yeah, I think I'm gonna pull you a little bit more this way, and then move that motion blur a little bit too. Just gonna do it. LOL at me being like, let's convert to smart filters, and then it's like giving me drama. It feels a little heavy.
It feels a little heavy.
Like there's more of it there than
yeah,
it's there.
exactly.
So what I'll do is I'm gonna create a mask. That'll probably be the easiest thing, and we'll just like brush it away. In the words of Solange. Well, she didn't say I tried to brush it away, but I tried to brush it away. Let's see here. It's pretty close on the edge of that one. So I'm just kind of go like in a circular motion, and then let's just see what that does. I like it. And you know what? I'm gonna add some noise. It wouldn't be vintage if it didn't have noise and grain.
Exactly.
So we're gonna add some noise to the screen because it's a bit too clean. Oh,
that's too much, but I like that concept.
Yeah. Let's see, what does uniform do? I kind of like uniform better. Yeah, that just adds a little bit more texture to it. And I think I'm gonna do it to my gamer too, just so he blends in just a little bit more. Some noise. Be real subtle with it. Let's see, it's too much. Be like, see what 4 does, and then this is just a test, but let me see what a Gaussian blur would do, just to put him a little bit. He's not, just so he's not so sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Dope. So also what I'm going to do, I really want this to look like it was a like scanned image or something. So I got this texture from Adobe Stock.
Shout out to Adobe Stock.
Shout out to Adobe Stock. And it actually gives you like 3 in 1. So we can play with each one and just see what it does.
Like better.
Yeah. But what I will do, no, we're good. We'll figure it out over there. So we'll go here. I'm just going to paste you on top. These images are pretty big. I'm just going to scale it up and kind of just slide it over. That would probably be the fastest way, just to
see what works best.
So we're just going to come out a little bit, scale you there. But I really love like scan lines and stuff like that. So just go to blending and just see what these pages do. Screen seems to do. Oh, I like color dodge. Let's see. Lighter color. Did I do anything? I don't see anything from that one. I think color dodge is going to be the winner. Yeah, because now it's starting to. Ooh. I think that's a little too dramatic for me.
Yeah.
But I'm never like, I've been trying to play with like adding textures on top of stuff more, but I've always just liked things clean too. So I'm always like, all right, if we do this, like, I'm just going to have to turn this opacity down. So
yeah.
I want it there just enough, but I feel like as creators, especially when we do something new for the first time, we overdo it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's everything in life in general. Like if you look back at yourself 10 years ago, like you're like, I was doing the most. And now you're still that person, but you're just a little bit more refined and you're just like, okay, I've realized I don't have to go that heavy on this. So I feel like I like 32 because it's enough to where it gives it that texture. I love these lines, which is really what I wanted to see. And let's just see what before and after that's doing. Yeah, I like that. So let's see, what else do we have going on with this? I think I'm going to add a bit of noise on these images too, because they're very much like straight out of Google. So and it was surprisingly very hard to find these pictures. Like,
really,
I figured they would be easy. I'm like, oh, just Google.
Yeah.
No, they were so hard to find. Or people want to slap their little watermarks on them. Like, you didn't make this game. Come on. Yeah, that makes it look a lot more.
Yeah, it looks more
just connected.
Yes.
So let's do the same with Sonic.
Connected and vintage.
Vintage. Let's do the same with them.
Man, I can't wait to go watch that Sonic movie. Oh,
the first one, I felt, well, the first one came out like right when the pandemic happened. So I think it just didn't get, we had bigger fish to fry. Yeah. So they were so good. And then they got Knuckles. I think like Idris Elba is doing Knuckles' voice and stuff. And Tails is in it. And then someone told me that like Jim Carrey, this may be like his last thing or something like that.
I heard that too. It makes me kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, he has nothing to prove.
I know.
And like, you've done what you're gonna do. So
I think that's why it's his life. He's like, I've done more than enough.
But he's such a good Eggman that I'm just like, I was gonna try to get rid of. I don't know, for some reason I'm not feeling that little speck, but I don't know if I can get rid of it. It's coming from the texture, but it's also like,
oh, okay.
What I'll try to do. I thought maybe clone stamping it could work, but I may. Let's see what it
you erase it.
Yeah, they're so minor that you're not going to see that. Like, it's visibly clear. So I'm just cleaning that up just a bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no, for some reason I can really see him. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna leave you alone. A little tap. Ooh, there we go. See if there's any other little ones. Just getting those corners.
Clean that up a little bit. Yep.
Pretty much. We are done at this point.
Nintendo, or if somebody from Nintendo is watching, please make sure you hit up your boy.
Hire your boy.
Hire him.
I've been to Japan twice. I will go a third time. Give me a reason to go, because they're still not letting people in.
Yeah.
I want to go so bad.
But I love this.
So again, with this one, this was more of like a campier, it's coming out of a magazine vibe. So I really kind of wanted it to just be over the top, but also kind of introduce what was like different about this one. So it kind of had the backlight glowing. It's again saying it's the new stage and all of that. And then tomorrow there's still some campiness and stuff that I want to play off of it, but tomorrow I've got one image that I feel like is a little bit more like editorial-y and
Okay.
fashion-y, and then another one that's kind of cheeky and campy that I think will be fun to play with.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm excited for that. Serena, thank you so much for showing us this so far. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Put some
Yo, have
love in the
fun.
chat if you enjoyed it, of what you learned from today's session. What was that blur tool again? I need to write it down.
Oh yeah, let's do it. So it's radio. So we did motion blur and then blur gallery, field blur.
Field
And
blur. Okay.
with that, you have there's some options. You could do some like spinning thing. There's some cool things. So yeah, make sure to play with that.
Yes. And I just really love the overall you adding the grain and the noise really makes it kind of look like it came from that time, and it follows that. I don't know, it just looks aligned with the branding. So Nintendo, if you're watching, your boy is really paying attention to detail. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out Serrandon's website. Follow him on Instagram, TikTok, etc. Also head over to YouTube so you can watch his short film. Serrandon, what was the name of the short film again?
Here Comes the Bride.
Here Comes
Stream
the Bride.
It's a good sit down, get some popcorn, and be ready to be spooked.
What kind of, real quickly, what inspired you to do that film?
So we did a spec of it for 2018 during Halloween, and I was literally walking to the gym. I heard this song by like an indie artist, and it was so romantic. And maybe that weekend before, I met this girl named Reese. Shout out to Reese if you're watching this. We met at like some party thing, and I just loved her energy. She just had this poise about her, and for some reason, I was like, this would be the perfect song to kill somebody to. So then I was like, but I want to try different songs. So I did Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by like Frankie Valli, Lauryn Hill. And we made the first spec video. We literally used that song and told the story over the song, and it got a good response. So I ended up writing out and doing like a GoFundMe and stuff. And we put together like a full film, but it's about I like it because it really flips the script. So it's about a woman who is a serial killer. She basically manipulates men into marrying her, and then she kills them. But yeah, but there's a lot into it. Like it's a lot, and you're really diving into her brain. And both of the films are connected, even though the first one is a lot shorter. I wanted to connect them and do stuff like that. So it's fun. If you like watching You and stuff like that, I think you're gonna watch this. And then it's a woman doing it, which makes it even funner because it's usually always the man.
Yeah.
You like American Psycho and stuff. I feel like you're gonna like it. So make sure you
feel
check
that. And shout out to Jordan Peele. So make sure he go ahead.
Jordan Peele, call me.
Steven
Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, y'all, if you're watching this,
all of y'all,
give me a job.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Serrandon. So make sure y'all head over to YouTube. That way you can watch Here Comes the Bride. And then just a few things for y'all. Make sure that you will be, for one, we'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific with part 2 with Serrandon, as he's going to continue with some creative ads and editing in Photoshop. And so we'll be back tomorrow. If you missed today's session, just go ahead and head over to YouTube or Behance. That way you can rewatch everything. And then continuing the logos theme, stick around for a creative encore of the Illustrator Creative Challenges, where you will learn how to create and use logos in app. This is going to be immediately following the Illustrator Creative Challenge. Join Sarah Lagingi. I'm so probably I said that incorrectly at 12 p.m. Pacific time, and learn how to create your branding and packaging for your business. So I can't wait to see y'all tomorrow. Serrandon, thank you so much again, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Dar. I will see y'all tomorrow.
Yes. Bye. Bye.